Yeah, so believe it or not, there is always a song in my head. That is true. I was blessed that way. What can I tell you? But we are back for another small biz bites. We will not have any powder bombs this time around, but we still have some great information to share with you. And I want to say this because I'm making sure that I am more intentional about this. But Small Biz Bites is, of course, on Amazon Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And we know that the episode will also replay on Indie Soup Media on Wednesday nights at is it 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. There's a lot going on in my head, so just work with me when I don't remember all the times. But it is on Indie Soup Media, all right? So with that, let me go ahead, play this intro music so we can get into some good stuff. So, you know what's interesting about having an office that is next to a window? You hear all the things, and I am just hoping and praying that none of that sound is coming in right now. It doesn't feel like it, but you're never sure, right? You're never sure. So let me talk about what we're going to get into. And before I forget, I should probably say who I am, although I think it should be known, but I am Gwendolyn G.R. Houston Jack. This is another edition of Small Biz Bites, and we are streaming live to LinkedIn and to YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, we would love it if you would like, share, and subscribe. We have, let me just say this really quick, because I think about my childhood and how in school, they force us to pick one thing, one genius, one pathway. And then if you're lucky, I say it like that, if you're lucky to get a glimpse of what your life could be when you step out of that box, man. So yes, a sister's doing all of the things, and talking a lot is one of them. So just letting you know, we have good times over here, right? Good times over here. And because I know you guys have noticed it, because Gwendolyn loves it. I got these are my progressives. And where are they from? Yeah, Gliss Optical, because, this young lady keeps me styled. And two things. One, they got this new program where if you buy a pair of glasses, you can get a second pair within 30 days for half off. Now, I don't need another pair of glasses. I don't need it. But because I like being cute, I might just go back and pick up like maybe some readers or something. I don't know. But if you're like me, then you want to check that out. Yes, she can style you virtually, so you don't have to be in the DFW area. But if you are, you can go to the store, which has amazing, amazing frames. So let me say that. Now, before we get to the nitty gritty and bring on our guests, my mama's here. Because mama gonna show up for her kids. You know what I'm saying? Mama gonna show up. I appreciate it, mama. Hello to you. My work husband is here. Ron Foster is here. Yes. And of course, my partner in crime, Gary from GNC Sports Talk. They actually have a show on at 7 p.m. Central. Now, I know I'm asking for a lot for y'all to leave this, but you can maybe you should watch my show first and then go over there, or just have two screens on, because that's how you can do it. So we can support everybody. You know what I'm saying? Let's just do it like that. But GNC Sports Talk is on. It's the playoffs, people. If you're into sports, you want to go over there to see Gary and Carrie on YouTube, because they are getting into some things. Okay, enough. Let me get right into the nitty gritty, because we have a guest. Let's introduce our guest, shall we? The crowd is going wild. The crowd is going wild. I love it. She's like, we are welcoming Adriana Richardson from the Lazy Millennial. How are you, ma'am?
I am excited and feeling great. Yeah, so I'm ready to get this going.
We are happy to have you here. And I will say this because we talk about this a lot. We don't have to work this journey, travel this journey of entrepreneurship or just life in general by ourselves. It is not necessary. It is not.
Right.
So whenever we can bring other people to our community to have them share their genius, we are here for it. As my mama said, we only, Ron says one screen here today. Really, Ron? Seriously? We don't have to work that out, kid. We don't have to work it out, but we can figure it out. And yes, Gary says what G said. Yes, let's watch all the things. Now, keep in mind, things are on, we can do replay now. We're on, we're in the on-demand thing. So, if you can't watch it live, just at least watch it at some point. Like it, leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? All right. Are you ready, ma'am, for what we call Fast Five?
Oh, I hope so.
Okay. Well, let me tell you how. She's like, this is kind of scary. No, it's fine. It's fine. What we are going to do is ask a couple of questions just to get an idea as to who you are, like little Fast Five facts. You know what I'm saying? As I hear the leaf blower, hopefully y'all cannot hear that. I mean,
it's okay. There's stuff happening in my background too,
okay,
so we're just gonna ignore it,
right? Until we get that really fancy studio, we gonna make it work. Number one, spring or summer? Which do you prefer?
Okay, I love spring, but the allergies flare me up. I still love spring.
I understand that. I've been putting on the nasal core, layering in the nasal core. Typically, I like to do bee pollen, but when it gets really bad, and there's been a lot of pollen out here lately, the card has been covered in pollen. Then I'm gonna have to go with something else. I gotta
do a combination: the nose spray, the allergy medicine. I gotta do everything.
Yes, gotta protect this right here. Okay, now, do you eat meat?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so with that, are we a barbecue with the sauce or without the sauce?
Oh, with the sauce.
What?
Yes, I love sauce. What's talking about?
I know I'm not. Okay, now I understand you are in South Carolina.
Yes.
All right. Now I'm as a person who eats a lot, from my understanding, they tend to credit South Carolina with being the persons who created barbecue. But as a Texan, okay.
Oh Lord. Okay.
I don't really know.
I like y'all stuff too now, but that could be a debate.
I'm just saying, as Texans, when we barbecue, you should be able to enjoy the cue without any sauce. I'm just
okay.
Because the thing is, like, if you got to sauce it up, you had something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I see your point.
It was like, we'll come back to that one. We'll come back.
We'll swim back.
Okay. Now, are you one for reading a book or seeing the movie? It's really right outside my window.
I love books. I'm a book nerd. I love it. I'll prefer to read.
I am literally hearing. Now, Ron says you can't hear, but he's literally right outside the window. But okay. So are you for the book or watching the movie from the book?
Definitely a book person. I'll still watch the movie, but I like the books more so. It goes into more detail.
Okay, so you are the book, because I know, like, I remember reading Pet Sematary before I saw the movie.
Okay.
And Pet Sematary, like, written, Stephen King is so clear in his description of an event. And not that a book can't bring it, but it's
Okay, I can see, like some of them you do need to see the visual. Like sometimes I will say like the book doesn't do a good enough job to get like the clarity, but when you see it like in pictures, like okay, I got it.
Like if I had to think about one, now The Color Purple, the book and the movie was exceptional.
Yes.
So I think that one's great. But if I'm trying to think like what else, and there's so many. There is. There's a lot where people have taken the book and made a movie. You're like, oh, that's a movie? It's like, yeah, well, it's a book. It's like, yeah, it's a book first, but yeah, okay. Right. I'm down with you. All right, now I'm getting into something. And
we're meshing now.
This right here. Okay. Because I'm wearing it. Are we team Prince or are we team Michael Jackson?
Oh, yeah, might kill me. I like Michael Jackson. I like both, but Michael Jackson.
I'm only in that. Mike is good. Well, I love them both as well. I love them both. Yeah. Although I rock with the purple one all the time. But I just figured I'd throw that in there because you know,
no problem.
Some of us, some people are like, they're not even the same thing. Oh, as Dr. Tachi says, do you have to pick one? You know what? Honestly, Dr. Tachi, you do not, because they're not in the same family. They are not.
Yeah.
They're not. Like, we have to truly appreciate them both, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they were doing their own thing. They both have
their roles. Yeah.
Right. So she's right. And shout out to Dr. Tachi. Thank you. I was like, wait a minute. Man, I was like, Dr. Tachi is here. And Ron says, yes, priority with one screen. Okay. We're going to help you get the two screens together. I mean, if you got a tablet, I'm just saying, then you could, you know. And she also says, as an African, I rebuke the origin story of barbecue.
Oh boy. Okay. So I see we just gotta have a whole discussion one day. I got it.
We are gonna have to have a discussion, and just because she's coming back, but Dr. Tachi will be asking you about marshmallows and barbecue in a couple of weeks when you're back on Small Biz Bites without the powder bomb. So we will we will leave it there. Says show's over. Wrong answer. Okay. Somebody has made their feelings known, but show isn't over yet, Gary. It's not over yet. Here is the biggest one, because we have to ask it.
Okay.
Who's your first hire? A salesperson or an admin? An assistant? What would you do?
I got dragged for this on Threads, but I put salesperson.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so real quick, before you answer, I want to tell this backstory. Now, people, Adriana has a YouTube channel. I need y'all to roll over there to the Lazy Millennial. Subscribe. The sister's putting down some good things about standard operating procedures and other things to operate your business. And one of her videos was about who your first hire should be. Now, with that said, what's your answer, ma'am?
Okay, so, for background, I will say I worded that to start an argument. So I kind of did deserve that. But I still stand by, a sales professional or somebody that helps generate sales should be the first hire, just because, we're in business, we got to make money. So I was like, you need to have someone that helps you make consistent money.
I appreciate that, because I'm a person who likes to word things a certain way to stir up a little dust, as I like to say. I like to get a little dust stirred up in there. Yes. But it makes sense. I believe it was a great question, because if you think about it, if you have to hire somebody, you either hire somebody who can bring in more money, right? Who can make the sales, or you get an assistant to take over the day-to-day operations so you can make the money, but somebody got to make some money somewhere.
Exactly. Yep. It may look different, but I was like, it has to be somebody that helps the sales. That's all I got to say.
I mean, I'm just saying. Oh, and he says, thank you for the plug. We'll follow. Yes. I'm going to say it again. I get that those who have shiny, bright lights and whatnot may consume your timeline. Okay. Mm-hmm. I believe in seeking out information from all resources.
Right.
As we should. From all resources. Now, I have to ask, because it's here, but who are you and what is your superpower?
I feel like that's such a loaded question, but
it's always a loaded question.
I'll get the little simple answer. So first off, I'm Adriana. I run a company called The Lazy Millennial. I'm a business process consultant. I help businesses streamline, document, and create their operational systems to scale and exit, because that's the key thing. We gotta exit at some point. So then outside of that, I am a nonprofit volunteer, mom, wife. I wear a bunch of titles like many others.
Now, if I may, when you say exit, what do you mean by as in walking away from the business, selling the business, or all the things?
Yeah, pretty much everything that company, whatever, exiting. Whatever you're selling, you're playing stepping back, you're passing it on to somebody, you're getting out the main role.
I have to think about it. And we have some entrepreneurs in the crowd. I don't know if I've ever considered when when I'm ready to walk away from this photography business, if it's going to go to anyone, I've never considered that. I just figured it's just I don't know. I hadn't figured anything, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think about in terms of photos, if anything was to happen to me, what happens to them, because these are people's pictures and things of that nature. But I haven't gone beyond the what happens when. I mean, you think about that. We may need to dig into that. So tell me this, because I have to. I mean, this was one of the questions I had, and I thought, okay, let's figure this out. What inspired you to create the Lazy Millennial? Because the millennial part was like, nah, I don't want to talk about nobody in generations, right? But it just sounds like it's very specific.
Okay, so before I started the Lazy Millennial was born in 2021. I've technically been in business since 2018. And with that, before that little timeline, I had a agency. I was a virtual assistant. I grew that to an agency. And during that time, I was getting like a lot of clients and stuff like, yeah, we need help with this, that, and the third. And when it came time to like really for us to work, we couldn't, because there's no standard operating procedures. A lot of people didn't know like what kind of systems they need to have in place. Like they didn't realize that we were just implementing what they already had in place, and people were hiring us without having these things in place. So I was just like, okay, COVID time hit, I got burnt out, and I was just like, okay, let me try to figure out a different way how I could do my business and stuff. So I started building myself up first, and I started helping some of my clients under the table doing like the work I do now, just to kind of like figure out how I want this to go. And 2021, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. At that time, I was going by like the SOP lady or whatever. I had so many different nicknames, but I was just like, okay, we're going to do that. And I was like, I need a catchy name for this. I was like, no one cares about St. Albert. They should, but no one really cares. Like, let's be for real. No one cares about SOPs and processes and stuff. So I was just like, okay, I need something catchy that'll grab attention. I was just like, okay, the goal is laziness, so to speak, ease, clarity, all that stuff. And then millennial, I'm a millennial. So I was just like, people call us lazy all the time. And I was like, let's just roll with it. So that's honestly, that's the story.
I believe it's catchy, and I thought, I was like, people do talk about the millennials. They do.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I don't know. Okay, so I'm Gen X, right? Now we already know how they feel about us.
I like y'all too. Yeah.
we some rough and tumble people, cause
y'all are, but still love y'all though.
But I love that. Now, I have to, only because two things. One, as a person whose previous career was focused on writing, training, and determining best practices, I was like, somebody's talking about SOPs. What?
Yep.
Because so many times people create a business, they literally say, I got this product, a friend or somebody buys 2-3 things and say, you should start a business. And they start a business.
Right.
And that's it. And then all of a sudden they want to hire in 15-20 people, but they have no standard operating procedures, no definite way to answer the phone, no definite way to write an email, dress code, like all the things, but you want to grow the business to like XYZ dollars.
Yep.
It's like
happens so often.
So often, entirely too often. Now, I will say this because I'm that chick. But when I decided to take my business full time, I was like, Gwendolyn, go ahead, create your SharePoint site, have all your email templates in place, do all the things that
love it, yeah.
Because just in case, in preparation for bringing on a virtual assistant or whatever, maybe I do give it into someone else or bring in like an associate photographer. I gotta have some stuff ready.
Exactly.
Right now, I'm gonna take this slight turn because I just like to dig into some things. So you started this agency, you hired all these people, but you said people didn't want to work. Like, I'm trying to understand.
Okay, so my contractors were awesome. I would say for myself, I was one of those people, like I was just growing, kind of like, oh, this is working, so let me just add people here. Oh, this is working. I was just all over the place. So they were fine. I just didn't have set policies and stuff myself. And I was trying to build as we were growing. And it was just terrible. Like I was growing faster than I could like keep up with like the updates, and it was just a hot mess pretty much. That's why I was just like, COVID hit, I was burnt out. I was like, there's no way I'm getting up at like 4 a.m. and I'm still working at this table at 9 p.m. So I was just like, So I was like, let me keep a few clients, I can stay afloat. But I was like, I'm done. I was like, I got to figure out something more sustainable.
Well, that's cool. Because that's my next thought here, because we talk about people and they want to grow the business, but they often use growing with scaling. Would you give us just the difference between scaling your business and growing your business? Because they are not the same thing.
No, they are not. So I like to put it like this. Growth is something that I feel like it naturally happens. Like, it's inevitable. We're all going to grow in some capacity. So growth is just one of those inevitable things that's going to happen in business. Like, you're going to get more clients, you're going to make more money, but it also is often met with like what I like to call a wall. So it's just like you're growing, you hit a wall, and then you have to either stop, backtrack, hire somebody, you continue growing the wall. Like, we get the drift. And then scaling is one of those things that, one, it should not disrupt operations. So like, you shouldn't have to consistently like stop and grow or burn the business down, things like that. Like, you should be able to grow strategically, pretty much. That's what scaling is. Like, you grow strategically, like you have a path you're actually trying to follow, and yeah, you're growing strategically pretty much.
So, because I'm, as you're talking, I'm writing down notes because all the thoughts are coming to my head. Like, all the thoughts.
I love it. Bring it on.
My dinner partner's here. Isla is here. Appreciate you sliding through, partner. We'll be talking more. I'm thinking about 2020. Let's just use this as an example of how we can think about it. There are a lot of people who decide to do their own business in 2020 and quickly from 2-person, 1-person team, 3-person team to now I have 80 people helping me build something. But in my head, looking ahead, it feels as if they didn't think it through, because soon after, when the outdoors became an option again, it was like everything dried up. I've got all these people, and now what? But even more than that, when they were in that chaotic time, they really couldn't step away to even take the time to think ahead, because they were still part of the day-to-day. Now, I know it's a side topic, but what do you believe is keeping people from getting out of the day-to-day? Is it like a lack of trust in who they're hiring, or trust in themselves? I mean, I get that if things are not documented, it's hard to tell somebody how to do something. Yeah. Like make cornbread dressing. Because we just, it's like a dash of this, a dash of that. It's like, but there are no numbers. Now, I'm old school, so I understand the dash. But how do people, or why do people get stuck in, I don't want to let go of the day-to-day?
I feel like it's just because like we're almost like conditioned just to focus on like, okay, like we need to just focus right now. Because there's like a lot of advice like, oh, just get started and like the rest will follow. And I've heard that advice way too much. And that's honestly, I feel like that's part of the like paid for coaching and everything. But anyway, I feel like that's part of the reason why like we don't really move on. Because it's just like, okay, I've built this. How do I let someone else in there? We're not really taught to build out teams. And another thing too, I think it's because I'm big on this. So exit planning, like we don't have like, how am I going to exit out of this thing? Like, I'm not going to run this forever. Like, even if you're going to be running it for like 20, 50 years, it's like at some point you're going to remove yourself. And I feel like there's not enough of the long-term vision to like really set things up. Because like, if you already know, okay, I'm planning on exiting this way, I need to have these type of people in here. And it's so much easier to let go of stuff when you actually have an idea of what you're doing or what direction you're going in.
I can agree with that. Yeah. Since we're here, so let me take another side step. Just a little FYI, I do a lot of rabbit holes. Work with me.
No problem. I love it.
Now, Isla and I had a conversation, I guess maybe it was some time ago. And I remember her mentioning how people typically bring the habits from their full-time, part-time life into their small business, where they are working to the bone because that's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
the people you're working with, do you find that some of that is there, that they are just going, as you said, it's all that they know?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Shoot, even with some of like I guess I don't want to call them corporations, but like, I guess some of like the bigger businesses I work with too, like they just constantly on the go. Because like we're conditioned, if you work hard, you're going to get this, you're going to reap all these benefits. It's like, no, like you're giving resources and tools, like just we can use them. Like you're going to leave this role, you're going to leave this business at some point, but it's just, I think it's just like a lot of conditioning like that. Work hard and you'll get everything you done, but it doesn't always happen. Like you get like a select few, and we've seen that. And time and time again, we've seen that.
we can definitely talk about that, because that work hard, play hard is like, yeah, but when people, if you look at this country specifically, and I have not gotten the latest, greatest numbers, but we do know that a number of American workers do not take all of their paid time off. That I don't want to say, because it's paid time off. It's PTO, right. Paid time off. Or when they take it, they're still working.
Seen that.
Like, what? Like, so what's the point? You could just,
Yeah.
Let me not go there. Let's go here. Let's get into it. These 3 factors to consider before scaling a business. What is factor number 1 for us?
I will say, gotta say it again, definitely it doesn't have to be a full exit. Like, what is your long-term vision? Like, what's the next few years that you want to do? Like, where do you see yourself at? You need to figure out your long-term vision. So I'll say number 1, figure out long-term vision. Number 2, definitely would be document as you go. And documenting, I like to tell people, like, just do it however you see fit. If you're a video person, you like talking into a camera, or me, I like taking little notes in my notepad on my phone and stuff. Whatever, document it and transfer it to Google Doc. Let me say that. And transfer it. But keep it somewhere that is sustainable for you to continue it. And yeah, just get it out your head, pretty much. That's the main thing I want to say. Just get that stuff out of your head, write it down somewhere. It doesn't have to make complete sense right now because you're the only one looking at it. But when the time comes, it's so much easier to make full SOPs and stuff, because like you already have this stuff written down somewhere. And 3, don't be afraid to pivot, because like scaling, all you're doing is improving processes. So it's just like with scaling, like I always like to use an example of implementing software as a part of scaling, because like people use software, like we're businesses, like people are using AI. So it's like you're doing a current process right now for marketing. Like instead of me, scaling may look like, instead of me trying to sit here for a few hours trying to brainstorm different things, I want to put that stuff in AI. So it's just like you're kind of streamlining certain things, improving something. And that could be used like a scaling thing, because now you have more content to push out. You can be more visible, all that good stuff. But yeah, so definitely don't be afraid to pivot. So like if that doesn't work, don't be afraid to move on to something else. Like there's so much happening. Honestly, I don't even know what's going to happen here in America for the next however many months, but just don't be afraid to pivot.
Adriana, now don't come in here starting no stuff. Don't come in here starting no stuff this evening, because I have one purpose. We have one focus this evening. I got one. Now, we could go down some rabbit holes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, in all seriousness,
I make it wound up.
In all seriousness, let's look at that. All right, so let's talk long-term vision first, considering the environment that we are in. Now, there are some people, I believe, who would do Chicken Little. Now, the sky is falling. I believe we are like in the 9th gate of hell, probably like number 12, 25, something like that. The sky is falling, but even with all that's happening out there, we still have to sit down in our 4 walls and think about what the future is for us and our business. Right. What are some of the steps? And if someone is the person who is, I don't want to say freaking out, because I don't believe that's the right term, because, what is happening right now is real. It is very real. And we don't want to disrespect or make it seem as if it has no value.
Right.
Like the way you're feeling has value, trust. Now there are people out there who are like me. I am a Virgo. I'm a Virgo who will see what's going on. I'm a feel what I feel, but Virgos also like to plan out stuff. And so we're like, okay, well, let's figure out what's going to happen the next blah, 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 because that's where my head resides, right? But not everybody thinks that way. And some people have to process change, really big change, differently. Do you have tips that you could share with someone to say, okay, how do I start looking at what life is like in the present, but also, let's just say 2 years from now? Well, forget 2 years, 1 year from now.
I know.
And then, because you want to go with what's happening today, what do I want to see in the next 6 months to a year, and then what is my long-term goal? What should people do?
Honestly, I will definitely say be realistic, because just sometimes people are like, you can still pivot, you can do this, that, and the third. Like, I hate to say it, but sometimes the best thing may be for some people to actually shut down. Just being realistic. Like, there may be a long-term vision, but it's just going to end up different. Like, and definitely stay realistic. And if you have to shut down, that's fine. You're not a failure. Like, things happen. Businesses, like it's a part of business, honestly. Like, there's maybe not everyone goes through it, but it's a part of life. It's like, don't be afraid to let go of stuff. Like, if you have to let go, you have to let go. So I will start by saying that. For those that are able to, I like to tell people to focus on like the risk and crisis side of businesses. I know this is not really planned out a lot, but for the risk, you're looking at like your services now. It's like, okay, what can I do let me backtrack this a little bit. So like, looking at your clients and customers, like, what are your clients and customers fearing right now? And how can you make your products or services appease how they're feeling right now? So times like these, it's a little harder to plan for super long term, but like, you can kind of figure out, okay, my people are here right now. I know they want to be here right now. What can I do to kind of meet them in the middle? Like, if I was someone selling products, I would probably be looking at, okay, my people probably don't have a whole lot of extra money to spend, but I know they may want certain things or something to make them feel good during certain holidays or something. So like, I may just pivot into doing something maybe holiday based, maybe doing pop-ups, things like that. But pretty much you're just going to focus on right now. It's literally getting through the day. This is one of the times where you just got to make do with what you have, and just really think about your people. Like, where are they at right now? And eventually start creating stuff to where they want to be in the future. So it's all about them right now.
You know what? You are in my head. You are like, okay, so my work husband, Ron, is a photographer, and we talk all the time. And just in case people didn't know, photography is a highly discretionary income purchase, okay? Because you can get your own camera and do your own thing. End of story. But when you ask a professional photographer to come out to your house or any other place to work just for you, that is some extra cash. And there are some people right now who are like, I don't know if I can do it. So I know for myself, and what was it? It was last year. Last year, I started looking at my website, my service providers, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I just felt a need to reset. And then I get this email from a provider who says, look, your website that was like $250 something every 2 years will now be $650 something every 2 years. I was like, ain't no way. Never.
I was like, so I let that go for a little bit.
I was like, I'm sorry, what? So I'm in the place of the reset, the start. I don't want to say starting over, but rethinking some things. And even in the midst of this chaotic storm, trying to find a way to still provide a service for those who would like to do it, but know that this is more than what, you know, they probably could. So it's like, where is that middle ground to where I'm not giving my time away,
right,
but I can still service those who want to have a little extra joy in their life. So look, you Here,
Yeah.
right here. As Ron says, shoot, corporations are finding it hard to navigate this season. Everybody's finding it hard, sir.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. There's a lot happening. We are resetting for sure. You know, I feel as if now 2020 just happened, which I believe for a lot of folks was that first wake up call to what are you doing with your one crazy wild life? Yeah. And it was like, look, I thought these things happen every like 100 years, and here we are 5 years later. So I'm like,
again,
right? And there are people who are still trying to get over the grieving from all the lost opportunities 5 years ago. Now with this kerfuffle, with all the things, they're like, what does the future hold? So we know in terms of long-term vision, it is planning for today, but also still saying to yourself, being realistic, what does my exit strategy look like?
Yeah.
God,
that's exactly it. Yep.
Let me jump because I saw Ron's thing and I want to jump to that. And I also have a second question there. You talked about not being afraid to pivot, to make the changes, to try something. If it doesn't work out, then whatever, right? Like move on.
Right.
But you mentioned AI. And I can't help but think that there are people, companies, okay?
Yeah.
Who think I'll just hire this AI bot and it will do all the things for me, including figuring out my best practices. Can you just give us a little bit of soapbox moment right there? Because it's just a tool. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So it's gotta breathe.
Long sigh.
I know. It's just like, oh my goodness. Okay. So part of my work, this background, what I do as a process consultant, of course, is like helping businesses document their systems and everything. People are trying to use AI to not only create their systems, but also pretty much this is the creation part is what I have a problem with, because processes are nothing more than our actions that we take inside our business. So you can't feed that to a machine, no matter how well it speaks or how well you train and stuff. Like, it still requires us. So whenever people are saying they're just building, like I've seen some people wanting to build AI agencies where they just completely rely on AI to do everything, like client delivery and stuff. I'm just like you still need to have a human touch to it. The most I can say, I like to tell people, treat AI like it's a actual person. Like, it's gonna still know like your internal, like, do you want this person to know your internal processes, your internal process of policies? How much of this do you want this person to know? Because like we've seen it pull up information from other businesses and stuff.
Okay,
like,
wait.
So
Wait.
Yeah, I'm about to go on a tangent.
Need you because like I understand it. I believe my crowd understands it, but what you're saying is, and what people are not aware of, is that when you're using these free AI tools and you're putting all of your business processes and information and perhaps some proprietary information into that tool,
right?
It is now out there for the whole entire universe to snatch up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Please continue.
Yeah. So, oh my God. Like, the biggest thing, people are like, okay, well, it's getting smarter. Like, it's trained for myself. I'm just like, I've seen not so many, but like I've seen quite a few cases of it pulling up information that you maybe have put inside your ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you're using, and it goes to someone else's machine. It may not take the exact things, but it pulls little concepts from it. So if someone's using AI to develop like these businesses and stuff, and you're feeding the machine, like, do you really want someone else to take your intellectual property? So it's just one of those things, just like, just be mindful. Like, yes, it's awesome, but like, it should, like you mentioned, it should only be used as a tool. Like, it's just another tool. Like, we use software, we use automation and stuff. It's just another tool. It should be treated as such.
Yes. And I want to make sure we're clear here. These are the free versions, because when you do the paid versions, you get a private environment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Free. Yeah.
Private and protected. Right. But I don't, people really don't. And we're using people in general, right? But a lot of folks
Yeah.
will see a new tool, it's shiny, it's cute, and everybody's like, this is the best thing ever. You should get it. Completely missing that best thing ever. It too has best practices.
Right.
One of them is don't put in proprietary information because it's out there for anyone to use and see. Okay.
Right.
Having used our little having our AI soapbox moment, because I love AI. Okay.
Me too. Listen, like it's helped me.
Right. It has a place. It's like any other tool. You could walk to the store. You could ride your bike to the store. You could take the car to the store. It's a tool. It's not the end all be all. It's just another tool. But let's talk about pivoting. And if you have a thought about this, I often find that sometimes people don't let go of something because there is this fear of how it's going to be seen by others. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care. Gwendolyn sat in this room a few weeks ago and popped a powder bomb because she didn't know any better. Sometimes I'm that simple. So, you know, we're okay with showing that, look at this. It's not what I thought it was. But what do you believe are some of the reasons why we stay in places beyond the time that we should be there?
I think it's more so like we just overthink everything. I feel like you said, people fear how other people will perceive them. I feel like too, I really just think it's fear. Like what happens if I do this? And even if it's not another person, it's just like, will I be successful? Like what happens if I fail type things? Like it's so much mindset shifts. Like something I had to work on. I have ADHD. So like sometimes I'm very quick to jump in decisions. Awful. Don't do that, y'all. But like it's good. It serves a purpose. But like, I was like, oh, this sounds cool. Let me $5,000 swipe. Let me just terrible. But y'all just like sit there and think. I have given myself just think it over at least a day. Like if it's something I want to build in. That's something I had to do. It's like give yourself 24 hours. Do you still want this? Is it in your budget? Like little questions, stuff you have to ask. But overall, to answer your question, because again, I'm about to go on a whole different question. But just focus on. See, and I lost mine. Start talking about something else, but
here's the deal though. If I may interrupt you, you make a really good point about the fear and how people see you, right? I was chatting with someone in my community about success and how we define it. And in this moment of resetting, asking yourself if you are living your definition of success or someone else's. Because if you're not doing yours, then you're out here hustling, grinding, struggling when it's not even necessary. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But you have a really great point about, hey, if I'm going to make this change, let me sit on it for like 24 hours. I was thinking as you were describing how sometimes you make the quick choice and just swipe the credit card, that if you, and I'm saying you in general, but if we plan for the long term, when it comes time to decide how to pivot, we can look at that long-term plan that you talked about earlier and say, am I in alignment with what I wrote down for my long-term future for this business and myself?
Right.
So those two could very well talk to each other. And that could be where you take that 24 hours to sit with it before you do something new or add in a new tool or take another class.
That's been my thing. But that's exactly it. I have my little notebooks really. I'm just like, okay, I have my little, how I plan to exit or like my next steps and everything. So I look at it, I'm like, okay, this is plan aligned to what I'm trying to do. If not, like I'll sit on it. Is this something I actually want to do and pivot to? I'm like, no, backtrack. I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
That's perfect. Because like our dear friend Ron says, fear and the unknown keep people from moving forward. That it does. So I keep in mind, we don't know what we don't know because we're not supposed to know everything.
Right.
Like every day we're walking into the unknown, except for I know when I wake up, I should have water for like a hot shower, and oops, the city turned off the water. So there's no water. You're like, well, I don't,
Right.
how did that happen? Right. So we only know what we know. But I believe if we sit down with some of these thoughts and write them out, then we don't have to have a place of, I don't know where I want to go in the future. Like you have some idea. There is like a smidge of an idea there. I do believe that is there. Let me go into the next one. And I went out of order for a reason, because you mentioned AI, you mentioned feeding the machine to spit out something. When it comes to documenting processes and getting everything out of your head, you talked about doing a video just to get it out of your head. So here are my two things that I want your opinion on. One, now I will say that I am a technical writer. Like I said, I'm a technical writer. Did documenting for a very long time, right? So, can people, I should say can, in regards to the best way to do it. We know that you could hire a writer, and there's a reason why you hire a writer or a person who is doing documentation to do it for you. So we know that that's there. Let's say that this small business owner cannot do that. What would be another way for them to get the processes on paper? Because I have seen people joke about like writing skills and spelling and whatnot. Technical writing is a skill. Okay, so don't be like, it's just writing. No, it ain't. And I said, hey, no, it ain't.
Yep, it really isn't.
It really is. It's pretty precise. So if you're just getting started, but you're feeling like, I don't have the funds to do it. What would be some ideas that someone else could do to get that stuff on paper?
I'll say definitely, I always promote, start off with your to-do list. Like you already have like a checklist of things you need to get done. So why not just start with that and just literally start writing the steps that you're doing for the task? Like what steps do you need to take to complete the task, and start there. So like I sometimes find like when you do that, you find out, I'm doing multiple, like this is on my to-do list, but like there's multiple things I'm doing. Like I can just cut one of these out and just focus on this. So start with your to-do list. Like I honestly just push that more. It's just like start with your to-do list, do step by step for each of those just to kind of see. Because I like to tell people to look for 4 things. So that is this something you can keep? Is it something you can take away? Is it something you can delegate? Or is it something you can automate? So do that.
That's a good start right there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I like the idea of look at your to-do list. It's a great way. It's like, because people don't realize what all they do. I remember a few years back, I was like, okay, Gwendolyn, you're doing this full time now. Let's just figure out how much time you need for your admin work. All right. So we're talking fresh off the boat here.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, you know what? I'm probably, this is like 10, 15 minutes. Try like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours here. So, people underestimate how much time they take answering the email, answering the phone, responding to this. Now, yes, you can get automation, which I highly suggest. If you're a party of 1, even if you're a party of 2, there are some things that could just be automated. Right, just go ahead and do that. But then there are other things that I know when I was talking with some other, small business owners at a conference, people forget, like, what are your opening hours, right? What are your opening hours, your hours of operation? What are your holidays, the days that you are closed, right? If you answer the phone, how do you answer the phone? All the time.
Everything.
Right? Again, what's your dress code when you're doing this? If you're doing email, and this comes from my history, my dear friend Ron he was a work colleague at one point. But when you're doing your email, what is the font you're using? What is the type size? What is the signature? What's all included? People are like, what? Yes, people.
Yeah.
When you talk about consistency and experience, it is everything you do. That is the plus of hiring a person who does documentation. All right. Now, hey, look, you can get some basics.
Yeah. I was like, I always start with that. I was like, that's the most basic and easiest way to get started. I was like, you always have the to-do list, but there's so much you got to do.
And although, and because you mentioned it, I will say, I like the idea of recording a video so that maybe you can use a family friend to say, hey, watch this video and do these things. And then you can observe that you're like, oops, we forgot to do this. We forgot to do this. Because sometimes until you see someone else doing what you believe is always done, you don't realize you've missed a couple of steps.
Yeah, right? I learned that hiring people. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I like the video idea. I love that. I love that a lot. Now, believe it or not, our time is moving quickly here, so I want to make sure we get your info in there. I know, right? You're like, where did the time go, girl? It happens quickly. Tell us really quick about the Lazy Millennial website where people can work with you.
Yeah, so I try to keep pretty much at least a snapshot of every little thing I'm doing. I do way too much. I had to cut some of that out. But anyway, you can use my site to just pretty much find me anywhere online. I mainly hang out on LinkedIn. I'm on Threads sometimes too. God, I'm just pretty much everywhere. If you just look up the Lazy Millennial, honestly, you'll find me. As far as working together, I usually do complimentary consultations just so I can get a better idea because there's so much involved with systems and everything. So it's just so much easier just to talk to you. So if you click, I think that button or something, book a free consultation, or if you go to Strategic Go Search, honestly, the easiest way, contact me on LinkedIn, send me a message if you like the episode, and if you want to chat, I'll let you know. I was like, everything is on the website though, but there's a lot. And I definitely recommend checking out the blog too.
It's okay to have your preferred way of contacting. I was telling my friend Ron today, Gwendolyn is not a person who you're going to find hooked up on some app. If you want to reach me, you need to get on my calendar, send me an email, send me a text. Other than that, you may not get to me. The DMs is not where I reside. I'm answering DMs from like 5 weeks ago.
Hilarious.
I was like, oh, somebody sent me a message. My bad. Look, it's not where I am. So it is what it is. And for those who do want to connect with you, because we do have it here, would you, I'll let you talk about it, although you mentioned it. I'll let you mention it again.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So LinkedIn, that is my spot I like to hang out at. I do a weekly live series on Tuesdays on pretty much LinkedIn. Just look me up on LinkedIn. Let's connect. We'll chat then if you want to. I'm also on Instagram. I'm more so in the stories. I don't really post as often, maybe little clips from my lives and stuff, but not super on there. And then of course, YouTube, definitely trying to get back on track with YouTube. So definitely let me know if you connect with me there. I like to support and try to watch videos as well. So if you do follow me, let me know so I can watch your videos as well. Support, because love supporting.
I will say this. I believe everybody has a place that really rocks for them. You know, I have fallen out of love with Instagram. It's like,
yeah, hate relationship. Love Instagram too,
right? It is more on the hate side right now because it's just I don't even have it.
The reach is terrible.
But I'm loving YouTube. I am getting reconnected with LinkedIn because I've been kind of busy, so I'm getting reconnected there. But what can I tell you? But I get it. I get it. I definitely get that. As we are rolling this together, do you have any last minute ideas for the people? Or just advice.
I will definitely say, honestly, the last little thing I have to say is definitely breathe. You are doing awesome. And don't be afraid to pivot because like business ebbs and flows. It's just kind of like rolling with it, and being able to know what season you're in your life and in business is really helpful. And also, I forgot to mention, I do have a free guide. Can I say that real quick?
Of course you can. This is your guide.
Okay, so I just like to double check. So if you are someone that wants to scale but wants to make sure your systems stay lean, I do have a free guide at news.thelazymillennial.net. So make sure to grab that. And that's pretty much all I have. Like, this has been fun. I enjoyed this.
If you can type that into our private chat, I will make sure that we put it on the screen, and we'll also put it in the show notes. So as you're typing that, let me do a little news for myself here. If you haven't already, get on the GRH Jack newsletter at grhjack.com. Be inspired. be informed. I don't spam your inbox because we got a lot of stuff going on, so I don't want to do that. But I do put out some good stuff, right? I put out stuff that is good for your heart, good for your mind. So I have that. And also, too, next week, we got Tasha T from Nicole's Gourmet Goodies. We're going to talk about the sweet life. Now, my video has not come out, but Gwendolyn ordered some cookies. And I had the banana pudding cookie. I'm not a banana pudding person. That was a good cookie. Oh, yeah. M&G. That's a good cookie. The Biscoff cookie. Oh my goodness. The red velvet cookie. Man,
I love a good cookie.
Let me tell you, I was like, Gwendolyn. So I'm excited about having her. She's going to be here next week. I want to say it's the 30th. It is the 30th. It's
yes,
the 30th.
Man, time goes.
So you guys want to be here for that. Let me type this in. So this is the free guide. Hold on. The free guide. Can I spell? Yeah, yes, I can. Let me paste it. I have it there. So I put it in the comments. And just because we want to make sure, hold on, we can get these things done live. Hold up. And we have that. We have it. We're going to add it. There we go. So we have it in both places, people. So we have it in the comments. We also have it here. Get your free guide at news.thelazymillennial.net. I want to make sure we have that there. Straight. People are saying, awesome show. Hey, again, hook up with Adriana. I like saying them, Adriana. It's all
fancy. I know. I love it. Say it. I
know. Adriana. Hook up with her. LinkedIn, Instagram, but check out the YouTube. There's a lot of great videos there. Check it out. A lot of great information there. I have enjoyed myself. My dear, have you enjoyed yourself?
Oh yeah, this has been fun. I was like, I gotta definitely. Well, I already knew it was gonna be fun. I tried to watch all their videos since we connected.
We are a handbook and some night. Like I said, I didn't bring the blue powder because I'm still cleaning up in here. But maybe next time when we bring you back, we'll have confetti. That's actually confetti.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
That's how Gwendolyn, that's how I ride. I ride with the confetti. So with that, I want to thank everybody for showing up today, spending time with myself and Adriana of The Lazy Millennial. Please go out, hook up with her on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. And with that, I wish you all a good evening. If you haven't, roll on over to GNC Sports Talk. They're talking about all things sports right now. What's going on? That's where I am headed. And we're going to see you all next week. Thank you for watching another episode of Small Biz Bites with Gwendolyn R. Houston Jack, where we chat with other creatives and small business owners about their journey. And we also invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the GR Houston Jack YouTube channel, where you can get the latest and greatest.